Hey y'all, are you having knee pain when you're playing tennis, golf, or running, or even with working out? There are many things that cause knee pain, and some things are easy to address. It could be that maybe your kneecap's not tracking right. It could be that you have a meniscus tear or you have a ligament that's lax. You could have a trigger point in a muscle that is creating tightness in that muscle and compressing the joint. It could be tight hamstrings. It could be weakness in your hip joints. So there are lots of things that can be causing your hip pain. And even meniscus tears, the latest research studies that conservative treatment is better than surgery in the long run. So there are some things that I look at with every single knee patient. So I'm going to share those with you, and you can get a mirror and do a self-evaluation at home and see if any of these things show up with you. And then if they do, you can reach out to your physical therapist or myself with questions or see if they can help you. So one thing I want you to do is get a mirror, stand on one leg, and put your hands on your pelvis. I want you to soften your knees so it's just slightly bent. And what you're watching for is if the opposite pelvis drops. So like that. I'm exaggerating a little bit. Many times it's much more subtle than that, but you will see a little slight drop in that pelvis. And that's basically weakness in your hip, but that's going to affect the mechanics in your knee when you're walking, running, playing tennis or golf, or in working out as well. Another thing you can do is do a squat. So I want you to do it both facing the mirror and then sideways. So your feet are going to be, just do them a little bit wider than your hips, and you're going to squat down. I like to put my hands out in front of me for my balance. And then I want you to look down at your toes. If you can see your toes, that's great. If you cannot see your toes, then you're shifting too far forward. That's going to put a lot more stress on your knees, and that can cause pain. So if those are things you're doing when you're working out, then all you need to do to change that is just shift your weight back on your heels. That's why I like to put my arms out in front of me, because I make sure I'm way back on my heels, and that takes a ton of pressure off your knees. Try that. You can feel the difference. What I also want you to watch for in that squatted position, are your knees in line with your feet, or are they rotating in? Do you look a little knock-kneed? So if your knees are veering inward, that could either be just a habit with poor form, or it can also indicate some weakness in the hips. Something else, I want you to turn sideways, and if when you do a squat, your rear end is tucking like this, then that could indicate that you have tightness in your glutes, or it could just indicate a poor habit, but it's something that needs to be addressed. Another thing you can do is look at your hamstring length. Can you put your leg up on a chair and keep your trunk up tall with your knees straight, and then bend forward without rounding your back? If you feel pulling back here in your hamstrings before you get very far down your shin, then that could indicate tight hamstrings. And hamstring stretches are pretty easily done. You just want to make sure your muscles are warm when you stretch a muscle. Okay, what else was I going to show you? Oh, look at, and this may be something that you have your spouse or your tennis partner or golf partner look at, or you can even have them film them on your phone. How does your body move laterally when you're swinging your tennis racket? If you are going way over across that stance leg, then that could indicate some weakness in your body that needs to be addressed, because that's going to put too much stress on the knee on the stance leg. So you want to be able to control your trunk and keep it midline. So the good news is with all these different things, they are addressable. So you may need to have strengthening in some areas, flexibility in other areas, and maybe you just need to know how to train your brain to move your body better. Those are all addressable and fixable situations. So if you do this self-evaluation and you find that you have any of these areas that are questionable, then reach out to me or reach out to your physical therapist, either in the comments or a private message. Give me a phone call. I would love to answer your questions and see if we can help you. Typically, the sooner you get in with an issue, then the fewer visits you need to get better and get back on that track where you can avoid injury. You don't need a doctor's order to come in North Carolina, so you can just call directly, get right in, and save yourself some time and probably a lot of tests. So just drop in the comments if you don't mind, if you notice your body doing any of those things we talked about, and let me know if I can help you. You guys have a great day and have fun out there on the course and on the courts and running. Bye.